Singing for our lives. We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are trans and cis together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, we are angry, we are young and we are old. We are gay, straight, trans, it's a land of many colors. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing. Yes, we're still singing, and we will keep on singing, because we're singing Please welcome Chris Verdugo, Executive Director, San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus.
Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, and about a tenth of our singing membership who's here with us, it is an honor to welcome you to our new home for the Mayor's first State of the City address. As we began to envision this space over a year ago, our intention became clear. We wanted to create a center where LGBTQ artists and organizations could come together, a space where they could collaborate and incubate new works, an affordable and safe space, a place to present master classes and lecture series, and also to host middle and high school age students with our educational programs, Rhythm, Reaching Youth Through Music, and the It Gets Better showcase. A venue that would house a state-of-the-art broadcast facility so that we could transmit these incredible, transformational, and inspiring events to a global audience. A space that espouses the San Francisco values of diversity, acceptance, equality, entrepreneurship, and creativity. A home where art and activism come together. And it is my honor to welcome you to that space today. Our new home and the nation's first ever LGBTQ Center for the Arts is a continuation of what began over 40 years ago on the City Hall steps. That moment when 99 men raised their voices in anger and sadness, but also in hope, singing the song that you just heard, singing for our lives, and thereby sparking an LGBTQ arts movement that would eventually span 5 continents. That's why this isn't just our home, it is a home for all of the San Francisco arts community and the nation. And no one understands this better than the mayor. As the executive director of the African American Arts and Culture Complex, she transformed the struggling center into a vital, sustainable community resource. She understands, yes. She understands that arts and culture are at the forefront of social change. And we are honored she chose our new home for her first State of the City address. Please join me in welcoming Mayor London Breed.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus for opening up their new home, this amazing National LGBTQ Center for the Arts. What I love about this center is that this chorus has invested their time and resources in creating something beautiful, not just for themselves, but for the entire LGBTQ and arts community around the country. This is a place that celebrates what is best about San Francisco. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. For too long, our city has been the subject of a drumbeat of negative media attention, national stories claiming that San Francisco has lost its way. How our streets are dangerous slums, our housing unobtainable, how tech workers and locals battle for our city's soul. Like most convenient narratives, there are elements of truth here. We have failed to build enough housing. We do face a homeless crisis. And we grapple with mental health and substance use on our streets. Of course, we acknowledge the challenges we face. The question is, what do we do next? Hang our head and give up? Concede our problems are too great and the soul of our city is lost? Well, anybody who thinks that's what we'll do knows nothing about this city. This is San Francisco. We don't throw up our hands, we take to our feet. We don't wait for guidance, we light the way. This is a city that knows how, the innovation capital of the world. The national leader on LGBT and immigrant rights, environmental protections, healthcare, and so many other causes. The place where Maya Angelou rang cable car bells. And a girl from public housing became mayor. Our congresswoman is Speaker of the House. Our former mayor just became governor. Another is California's senior senator. The state's lieutenant governor, controller, and treasurer are all San Franciscans. And our former district attorney, Kamala Harris, could even be the next president. It's time that our city holds its head up high again. It's time we believe again. Yes, we have our challenges. I see them every day, just like you. I'm frustrated just like you, about the issues that face our city. But I'm also motivated because there is no problem we can't solve together, no challenge we won't face together. There is, as President Clinton said, nothing wrong with San Francisco that can't be fixed with what's right about San Francisco. Homelessness in San Francisco has for decades been described as a sad reality, an impossible problem, just part of our city. I don't accept that. Just a few years ago, you only had to walk a few blocks from City Hall to see tent encampments lining our sidewalks, covering whole blocks on Division Street. Today, those large tent encampments are gone. That's partly because we have been working to build more shelters, more housing, and help more people. In the last 6 months since I've been in office, we've built 3 navigation centers with 338 beds, the fastest expansion of shelter beds our city has seen in decades. And we've helped nearly 1,000 people exit homelessness. 1,000 people in 6 months. Yes, we have a long way to go and so much work to do, but we are making a difference in people's lives. When we opened up the Bryan Street Navigation Center earlier this month, I met a woman who had just moved in. She's battling addiction and breast cancer. On the streets, her medication kept getting stolen. She couldn't get healthy. Now she's inside, and she's working on getting housing. At Bryan Street, she gave me a hug, and she said she's hopeful. And so am I. If she has hope, others can too. That is a difference. She's excited about the future, and I'm excited for her. If she can have a hope, then others can too. I've already announced my plan to add 1,000 shelter beds by 2020, enough to clear the shelter bed wait list. We also are declaring a shelter crisis so we can get these shelter beds built now. And I want to thank Supervisors Brown, Haney, Mandelman, Supervisor Stephanie and Walton for joining me in recognizing our bureaucracy shouldn't stand in a way of one single 1,000 beds. This is a huge step, we know, but it's not enough. We know we have around 4,000 unsheltered people in our city sleeping in our streets, in our parks, in doorways, or in vehicles. We know that it's a travesty, but it's one we can take on. In the next 4 years, I want to create enough shelter beds, step-up housing units, homeless housing units, and housing subsidies for every person who is currently unsheltered. That's 4,000 more placements for people. No more excuses, no more status quo. And let's be clear, every part of our city, every neighborhood must be open to being part of the solution. And to get there, we must move forward with my proposal for our windfall funding, $185 million for homelessness, behavioral health, and affordable housing. With this investment, we can add 310 new shelter beds, 300 units of housing by master leasing units, freeing up hundreds of beds in our shelter system, complete funding for a 255-unit building for homeless seniors and adults, and get started on hundreds more. Now, I know there are other budget priorities, and they are important, but let's be clear. Every dollar we take away from what I've proposed is one fewer bed, one lost home, one more person on the streets. I will continue to work with Board President Norman Yee and the Board of Supervisors on how best to use this funding and to address homelessness in our city. It won't be easy, but working together, we can tackle any impossible problem. Yet the crisis on our streets isn't just about homelessness. The people injecting drugs, the people suffering from mental illness, they need more than just housing. Often they are actually housed. These people need help. Since I took office, we've added 50 mental health stabilization beds, and I'm committed to opening up 100 more this year. Our Healthy Streets Operations Center is out every day helping those suffering from substance use disorder, getting them connected to treatment and shelter, to help those who are truly suffering get real treatment. I partner with Supervisor Raphael Mandelman on conservatorship legislation, because when people can't care for themselves, we have to do better, and we have to care for them. But we have to revamp our entire approach to mental health. To bring together all of our mental health programs under one focus, I'm creating a Director of Mental Health Reform. This person will be responsible for better coordination of mental health care for those suffering in our city. This person, he or she, will strengthen the programs we have that are working, and yes, cut the ineffective programs, because clearly there are things in this city that just aren't working and shouldn't continue to be funded. We need to build people's lives, not shuffle them from emergency room to emergency room, from jail cell to jail cell. Our criminal justice system is not a mental health solution. And to do all this, we need vision and leadership. So today, I'm announcing that I've hired a new director of the Department of Public Health, Dr. Grant Koufax. Dr. Koufax is one of our own. Trained at UCSF, he worked at the Department of Public Health as the Director of HIV Prevention and Research before leaving to join the Obama White House as the Director of National AIDS Policy. He knows our city and its challenges, and he is ready to get to work. And he knows that we need to get to zero HIV infections in San Francisco. We need to reach our most vulnerable populations, particularly our African American and Latino communities who are not seeing their HIV infections rates drop as others do. This means getting everyone, and I mean everyone, access to services, treatment, and preventative medications like PrEP. And I'm confident Dr. Koufax will get us to our goals. We're also confronting San Francisco's other allegedly impossible problem, housing. Housing. We have to produce and preserve